It's the top of the hour. It's time to start the webcast. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are on the globe. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. My name is Thomas Hampel. I'm the director at HCL Product Management. I'm responsible for the Domino server, HCL Nomad, and all things security related. Today, I'm going to be the moderator of this call. This webinar is another exciting episode in our series of webcasts. And the topic could not be better. The topic that we're going to cover today is monitoring Domino, meaning next generation HCL Domino monitoring. What could be better, especially in summertime when there is vacation, everybody wants to relax, everybody wants to, leave for vacation. And in this situation, you of course would like to ensure that your servers are doing great. For this topic to be covered, we have invited our business partner, Sci1, to be talking about how they are approaching this topic. Before we can start the call, there are a few logistical things that I'd like to mention. So first slide is this one. You know about this one. HCL also has lawyers, and they made me adding this slide. So there are a few forward-looking statements that we might be making in this call, so please be aware of that. And next slide, please. About the logistics, let me say that this call is being recorded, so you can relax, you can enjoy the show. If you like to replay this, we will make a recording available later on in a blog post. Also, there is the possibility to ask questions at any time. There is a chat capability in this meeting client that you can see. So on your right-hand side, feel free to post any questions. The questions that you're posting are only visible to the moderator, so we can sort them, we can reply to them while the speaker is talking. We're trying to cover all your questions as we go along. If we cannot answer them directly, there is a Q&A section at the end of this webinar, which we are using to recap a few of the questions for a bigger audience. Nevertheless, if your question wasn't answered, we're trying our best to answer them in a transcript. And we are going to make the recording of this webinar together with the slides and the transcript of your questions, as well as our answers, available in a blog post in a few days. Now, enough said. I think it's time to start with the more interesting part of it. So let me hand over the microphone to Vlad, who is the CEO at Sci1, to talk about next generation HCL Domino monitoring.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Good morning, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining today for our webinar about Domino monitoring. I will briefly introduce myself. We are doing Domino for many years. We are certified, and I had a chance to write some books for about Domino. They are Domino related. And we are located in Europe, and we have some offices also in other countries. Our company does consulting, and we also develop products for Domino. One solution is today's topics is monitoring, and I will briefly also cover the second one, which is two-factor authentication for HCL Verse and Vault. It's really easy. Under 10 minutes, you can enable two-factor authentication on your Domino. So if you are interested, let me know. So coming back to main topic, why we need monitoring. So Thomas said that, yeah, we all want to do something planned. We don't like crashes of or outages of our systems. We need to automate Domino administration, because if our servers and statistics are checked against HCL best practice, we are sure that our servers are in the best shape. So monitoring solution that we are going to see today has around 700 monitoring metrics that runs out of the box. And you can extend them as well with your own, or I will also cover it later, that it's not only Domino platform monitoring, but also business applications monitoring. So in addition, we not only monitor things, but if the scenario is known, we can automatically solve the issues. And of course, why we do this? Because sometimes when we predict problems, for example, something disk will be out of space. If we fix it in advance, we can avoid corruptions. We can avoid these issues in advance, so it does not impact business. But let us talk what are the options today to monitor Domino. So the first one is really the option that we don't recommend is get calls from help desk or from users when a problem is already occurred, so-called reactive approach. There is also one that you can use is a Domino administrator. So I call it grandfather of monitoring, because when I started in release 4, later in Domino 5, we get this monitoring tab in Domino administrator, and it was like a basic for monitoring at that time. But technologies go further, and we were introduced Domino domain monitoring in later releases of Domino. And I believe this is something minimal option to monitor your Domino today. But you can do more with proactive monitoring. And this is a topic for today's webinar. I will briefly cover the Domino domain monitoring. It's appeared in Domino 7. It allows you to do a lot of good things like monitor tasks. You can monitor for some bad keywords like corrupted or granted full access, but you may also need to monitor something more advanced like string values. And of course, if your monitoring runs on Domino, if this Domino will be down, then of course Domino monitoring system also will be not available. So monitoring should not run on monitored system. I think it's obvious. Let us think about what we need to know to understand if our servers are in a good shape. The first thing that administrators normally do, they have to check statistics. They have to know values, thresholds. Sometimes you have to divide some different values of one parameter into another and understand if it exceeds threshold or not. Of course, in addition, you have to verify different databases, statistics of operating systems, and a lot of different databases, for example, business applications, or you may want to take a look into different applications like notes, fault reports, or you may have your own tools. So what the admin is doing daily or should do daily. So we do deploy new versions of Domino. We try to detect several unavailability and solve problems that are reported by users. We assist our colleagues to do some programming, or we consult them. And of course, we have to check health of each server, and normally we should do it daily. Like we should check admin P, login SF, init lockout. So maybe hackers started to brute force our users, and we should know about this in advance. And of course, in addition to all of that, we need to do something real, like participate in a project, do Domino V11 upgrades or some other things. So I think normally we need around 30-60 minutes to check all the statistics on just one server, which brings us to idea that if we have 16 servers, it takes us full working day of 8 hours to just check statistics and logs of all servers. And this is in case if everything is perfect, if no big issues are found. And of course, administrators, in addition just to checking logs, have to learn new things, have vacation, can be sick, and yeah, they need to do something else in addition to just checking logs. And we have a vision that Domino administration should be, we call it predictive administration. So administrator goes to particular database only there when it's really needed. Imagine you start your each day when you open Inet Lookout and you see nothing, so everything is perfect. I believe if you do it for 30 days, so maybe after 2 months, you will believe that everything is fine in database, I can skip it, I will do something else. But maybe in this particular day, something could go wrong. And of course, we should not just waste time checking different statistics and databases. So I believe that doing just increasing staff to watch logs is not a good option, because we want our clients to be efficient, and we think we can automate it, because scripts and monitoring can log in and do it 24/7, check for different values. And if we come back to one of the previous slides, what monitoring can do from what administrators should do daily, monitoring can do it 24/7, and in green I highlighted the things that monitoring can do. So it saves a lot of time for administrators, and this saved time we can spend on something that adds value to the company. And today we will talk about Simon monitoring that helps us to monitor Domino Traveler same time any NSF. And before we continue, I want to give a short overview of architecture. So we built it on open source. We took the Zabbix monitoring, which is open source solution. We added Grafana as a dashboard, and we have written in C API the small nodes client. We call it LD sensor. So for you, it means a really tiny nodes client that can pull statistics and execute some functions, commands through the API requests. We have added some knowledge from Simon, and right now this solution, I think we have it on the market for almost 5 years. So if you need to monitor different environments, for example, your hosting provider, you can internally create another instance, feed an additional user ID or server ID under which this client will work. And this small virtual appliance can check many different environments. It of course supports cross-certified servers. You can monitor all your clients, or if you are just a customer, so all your domain can be monitored. The beauty of the solution is that it does not require any agents installed on the target Domino, which is good, because then we support completely any Domino server. Again, it's like a nodes client that connects to different Dominos and just pulls needed statistics. I like automatic detection and prediction. For example, when we drive and our car says we need to refuel, otherwise our car will stop, we tried to do the same in our monitoring. So we really want to predict problems, because if we are able to predict them, to solve the issue, it may take like 5 minutes maybe to extend the disk and just restart the server later when users does not work. If we have this during the business day, maybe some databases will be corrupted and solution might take much more. Right now, Domino has around 4,000 statistics, or maybe more, depending on how much tasks you have. And of course, none of us wants to calculate all the values, all the thresholds whether the value exceeds recommended value each 30 seconds. So with ability of with the functionality of new dashboards, we are able to pop up only things that are important for you now. So we don't do it like in Concord. It was really complicated plane. It was sophisticated, but it has so much these gauges, so 8 pilots need to fly it. Right now, we have ability to represent needed data and to hide maybe things that are okay now. And reality today is that our business, our top managers and bosses wants to do projects faster, cheaper, and the number of servers grows, the volume of data grows, and with all the security, with all the things that we need to take care, the complexity of system is completely different than it was 20 years ago. And I think there is only one solution, is automate these tasks. So in predictive administration, we again notify administrators in advance. We monitor it 24/7 and we report problems when they need them. Let me give you a short example. Imagine it's Monday early morning and somebody is recovering database, maybe DAOs became out of sync, and that means that all attachments that will arrive later will go directly not to DAO's repository, but they will go directly to the nodes users NSF files, which means that disks will be there will be bigger load than disks. The free space will run out of free space much faster. And to fix this, we in the beginning of the day, we notify, we get this information that the DAOs is out of resync. We schedule the Compact C for weekend because we don't want to do this during the business day. And maybe for the next night, we schedule the resync. So the DAOs becomes in synchronized status again. And in this example, it took us almost a week in large environment to completely solve the issue. So if we have it automatic, so at 2 a.m. DAOs is out of sync. After 1 minute, monitoring can detect that DAOs is need resyncs. Launches a resync command, and in the morning admin knows that okay, there was a problem, but monitoring fixed it. So I think it's really saves time. In our monitoring, instead, we don't just say that you have an issue, we always say how to fix it. For example, from different red books, from different HCL documentation, we have gathered different statistics, and we know what is good and what is bad for the server. If the cache efficiency goes maybe not optimal, we suggest you things that are described in HCL tech notes. So, and of course, there are two positive things. First, you know in which direction to go. And the second, if you have some new administrator who just started to learn Domino, they will know about Domino much more. So that the Domino can have a cache. I can impact cache by changing some nodes tiny parameters, and so on and so on. And of course, when Domino adds new features, for example, inline index, some customers don't enable them. I don't know why, but we recheck if all new features are enabled, and we just suggest them to enable. And I think there is a lot of such features that all customers can benefit. And just one more example, we have a lot of different dashboards for Domino, for Agent Manager, Cluster, and so on. In this example, you see that some servers have a semaphore timeout. Of course, we normally don't check it every hour, maybe every day. But if I have a semaphore timeout, I don't need to go to documentation, check which hex code means what. I can just click on I letter and I see all the codes of semaphore timeout. So it's really easy to understand which area is causing server to slow down. Another example is that happened when a lot of people started to work from home. Many companies allowed people to get access to Traveler, or for example, new iPhone appears on the market on Google or Google phone. We have to check that number of HTTP threads is more than 20% than amount of devices. So maybe I can check it on on Monday, but on Tuesday the new iPhone is available, and my users buy this gadget and just enroll it. And it may result that the number of devices will just exceed number of HTTP threads. People will start complaining, maybe some important mail will be not sent, so monitoring can just notify in advance. We also check the health of internal database of Traveler, whether Traveler can reach all the servers, whether the database of Traveler need defragmentation, because it's all described, but I like visual representation of the data. Another thing that if I see the bars here, for example, on the Traveler 200 codes, I know that synchronization still happens, but it's really slow because a lot of requests finish in 30 seconds, in 1 minute, some of them from 2 minutes to infinitive. So it really helps you to just take a look on the dashboard and you see do we have problem or not, and of course monitoring notifies us in advance. Yeah, I told you that if the number of devices will reach 80% of HTTP threads, you will be notified by monitoring, hey, can you please increase number of HTTP threads because we have only 20% left. And one really important thing is that statistic values are just 5% of the full picture, because we need to understand what do they mean. Yeah, because just pushing statistics to dashboards, draw different graphs is maybe means nothing to me. We have to all know that, for example, average queue length, if it's more than 1, this is really bad. Our disks are overloaded. They cannot provide needed speed or output. And I think there is a lot of statistics that can be just automated. For Domino, for example, if we have growing number of 404 HTTP codes, it means somebody is scanning us or maybe trying to brute force. Maybe if there are authorization failures, of course, somebody is trying to break in. And yeah, I like that we had a customer, by the way, where we deployed monitoring. And the customer said that this graph looks strange, and we answered, no, it is a correct one. You are being somebody's trying to hack you right now, because the curve of lock it out users was going up, and yeah, somebody was really trying to break in. And of course, we understand if we just check it in the morning, maybe after half hour, somebody will start a hack. So we cannot just check all these databases 24/7. Monitoring has ability to integrate with mobile phones. So if you left office, if you are allowed to monitor, because in some countries you are not allowed to work after you left office, so you may get even a graph in the phone. And why I like integration with the phone, because I believe it's a little bit better than SMS, because if monitoring says message to group of our administrators, where we have administrators on duty, they can chat. Somebody can say, okay, I know what could be the issue. I will try this and that. And maybe you were swimming in a pool somewhere. You go to your phone, you check it. Okay, there was a problem. Somebody took care of it. Now it's solved. I don't need to call anybody. So it's a good one. And we talked a little bit about Domino, but what about business applications? Because we know that Domino is all about applications that run our business. Yes, we can do it. We can monitor a number of documents in a view. We can run any add formula. So there is no need to create view, or we can also create per application statistics that I will show it later. So what does it mean per application statistics? For example, here we created a nodes database which is populated with a few fields, and as a result, these statistics appear in Domino statistics tree. So for all your business applications, you can create per application statistics. For example, you are an insurance company. You have there was a snow and a lot of cars crashed and a lot of people claim it for insurance. So some application can say that, okay, we have 50 requests in a queue. Maybe we are out of SLA, and we just push this to Domino statistics tree, and later monitoring can just pull this data. So monitoring is not only for Domino admins, it's also for business people. So we can really check the health of our application. Or we can create some other things like, for example, we have contract database. Some built-in script can check if we have safe conflicts, how quick is the time of search for this database. And I think there is a lot of examples for that. For example, we can monitor integration with Active Directory and any interface that Domino has, because we just discussed that we have 4,000 statistics, many databases, interfaces, agents, and they all of them are really important for our business. Another example, we may want to monitor, for example, multi-client database. Maybe some users has old ODS, or maybe VIP people started their nodes client and it's slow, so we can just report it from any database. And of course, agents that are important, they write logs, and we can, with monitoring, also monitor these logs. With Domino monitoring our Simon, we created a formula wizard database that helps to create formulas. For example, on this screen, I created an example that if somebody will register a user and attach user ID to person document, which is of course not safe, then monitoring will say, hey, we have users with ID attached. So all we do is copy this nodes formula to monitoring, and it will execute, for example, once per 4 hours or once a day. And we can monitor a lot of other stuff like old HTTP passwords, a lot of other things. In monitoring, we have different dashboards for different purposes, or even for different types of administrators. We have performance, security, Domino Core, Traveler, and others. For example, in users dashboard, we can see how many users are logged, how many crashes we have. Maybe somebody has changed policy, because I think it's really common that everything is working fine, but all of a sudden mail routing stops. You ask your colleagues who has changed what. Everybody keeps silence and say, no, I didn't change anything. But if you take a look at the monitoring, you will find that somebody has created a new configuration document, or maybe a new policy which changes the way the server is working. And another thing is visual problem solving, which I really like. For example, I have 50, in this example, it's one, but it's not important. I have a 50 mails waiting, and I have 50 mails waiting for DNS. In this case, I, as a Domino administrator, I say, okay, Domino is working fine, but we are just waiting for Domino availability. So just looking at the dashboards, I can easily locate issue and understand where is the problem. For management, we have also this status panel. So you have an overview. If everything is okay and not okay, you can add different criteria. And monitoring is like a Lego. So when you start, you can never end. So you start with Domino platforms, then you add business applications. You can monitor completely everything. For example, we are so addicted to monitoring, then in our office, we monitor water supply. And when the water supply goes to 0 or 1, the monitoring can order water from a company who ships us the water. So completely anything can be done. And yeah, we are about to, it's one of the latest slides. So again, it's run as appliance. So to speed up this and make it running, we need like 20 minutes, maybe less, maybe more, depending on amount of servers. Each server has a roles, like same time traveler, HTTP, admin P, and you may have this system running, I think, under 20 minutes. And if proper monitoring is implemented, availability goes up, your users are happy, and of course, lower TCO, because then you need less time to keep system in best shape. And yeah, we are so addicted to automation that I want to give a short teaser about another product that we are working on. It's Sci1i Admin, the tool that will automate the administration, so it can check whether all databases have right compression, security, advanced properties, or for example, title. If somebody changes the name, then the title, for example, can be also adjusted. And yeah, we love Domino. All solutions that we present, they have also a free version, so you can use Domino two-factor authentication completely for free. For 5 users, maybe it's a good start to protect your VIP accounts. And there is also a free version of monitoring. We, of course, encourage you to try the full version completely for free for a few months. If you like it, then you can yeah, just buy it. And I think we came to Q&A session. So Thomas, can you please give yeah,
Yes,
do we have some question?
Yeah, I can open up the Q&A for questions, of course. So dear participants, I'd like to remind you that there is a chat section where you can ask your question. So just type your question and we'll cover them in this Q&A. While questions are piling up, let me just re-emphasize on one statement you made, because I found this very funny. You said that you see a spike in usage, in traveler usage, when a new iPhone model comes out by Tuesday. At least in my world, people that I know are not always buying the new model on the first day. So, but I know there is one day where people get new phones, and that typically is Christmas. You know, when they get a new phone, they unwrap it and and they connect it to their enterprise server. So in customer environments, we have seen a spike in usage, especially in on public holidays, yeah, Christmas and so on, where you really want to be with your family and you better monitor your system so that you can enjoy the holidays. So I found this question funny. Nevertheless, here are a few questions coming in. So may I just start with the first one, Vlad? The question is, what if you have an existing monitoring solution? Can you integrate or extend the monitoring solution with the existing one?
Yes, if you recall the architecture of monitoring, this nodes LD sensor, so micro nodes client, is able to receive API calls from any monitoring, and wherever monitoring you have, if it supports REST API, it can call our LD sensors, this nodes micro client. It will connect to proper proper Domino server, and will do the stuff. So yes, it's possible to integrate our solution with your existing monitoring. It's quite common because people don't want to make 50 monitoring systems for each enterprise software. Of course, it's logical to have one corporate solution.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, there are specialized solutions, like there are solutions that are focused on infrastructure monitoring. And as I understood, or as we understood, this one is dedicated to the Domino world, and you know the Domino environment much better than maybe the existing monitoring solution out there. So the ability to integrate exists, so I think we can tick off that question. So next one. I think you said something about licensing. What is the licensing structure?
It's licensed per server that we monitor. So if you need to monitor 10 servers, then you need 10 licenses.
And okay, that was easy then. So next one. Do you offer consulting services to set this up?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry,
yeah.
Dennis, I'm skipping the second part of your question. So
the consulting and deployment is included in license. So we help customers not only to deploy, but we are interested. So they are monitoring their business applications. So we are teaching them how to do it. And normally after, I think, one day, majority of customers are doing themselves. So it's really easy to do it.
Okay. And on the same question, would these consulting services also be available for defense-style threat monitoring? I think that's a bit, a wide question. Can you comment somehow? Do you have any immediate response? Otherwise,
yeah, I think we can take it later offline and discuss.
Okay, so Dennis, we are going to get back to your question in the transcript, and we're providing you with a written answer. Okay. Next one. What is the best way for Zabbix to get data from the Domino statistics? SNMP question mark?
I think SNMP is, as I said, we are working on solution for more than 5 years, and we started with SNMP, and we canceled this, let's say, approach because SNMP covers Domino, maybe, but if we need to monitor some applications or its SNMP does not cover it. At some customers, SNMP is not allowed, so we believe it's better to have a nodes client on the side, and it will does all the necessary things. So we do CAPI call like the nodes client is doing or nodes Domino administrator is doing, and that's it. We pass it back to Zabbix or any other solution.
So you're like the gateway then?
Yeah. We are like translator between different languages. This is monitoring vault and Domino vault.
Okay. Next one. Can this solution load settings from, for instance, DDM?
Yes, out of the box, we also pull a lot of valuable information from DDM, and we have this dashboard already. Yeah, it's already in a product.
You're answering questions so quickly that I cannot follow up with the next one. Just let me see. I need to read the full question because it's a bit longer. I like to monitor a case where someone written an agent to send mails which got triggered and started sending out. So as an admin, can I monitor this scenario? Can I identify the user and block that?
I think, you know, in monitoring, what we have, what the monitoring will do, it will say that it's a strange high number of messages. Your attention will be attracted, and then you go to nodes with a mail tracking, do a report in 5 seconds, which is a built-in functionality for Domino, and after 2 minutes you have a report who is sending these emails. So it's yeah, it's in both products, in Domino and in our monitoring.
Okay. This question here is really tricky, I guess. What Domino server capabilities or states can't you monitor that you know of?
I think we are admins and we build solution for ourselves. So we are pretty happy with solution as it is now, and a lot of our customers say the same. So I think we cover majority of functional requirements that regular admin need. So yeah, I think we are covering what the admin needs.
On behalf of the person asking this question, I need to be a bit more picky. Do you know of anything where currently you cannot monitor this scenario, maybe looking for improvements in the future, or did you never come across something that you cannot monitor in the world of Domino?
We develop versions each quarter. I think we release new versions. We add same time. We just added same time monitoring. We plan to add connections monitoring. And yeah, we're constantly working on improvements, and our customers are giving us feedback and wishes like Domino AHA. So we know what is needed, and our development team is making our clients happy. So I think it's the best way is to try then to see it. So just try it in your environment. It's completely free for a few months, and then you will have your own opinion on this.
Okay, so we identified that it currently cannot monitor connections, but you are working on that. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, let's agree on that.
Oh, okay. There are a few more questions, but they are much longer to cover here. So I'd like to refer to our blog post that we're going to publish, and would like to conclude this, would like to somehow, or slowly but surely, conclude the call, as we are reminded by the moderators that we're running out of time. So let me quickly browse through the questions if there is, yeah, more coming in. Yeah, let's maybe the last and final question, a short one. Are there dashboards of data for other people than admins, like a CEO or customers?
Yes, of course. I showed you the management dashboard. So managements like CIO can see that all servers are okay or not okay. Business people can also create their own dashboards. For example, number of insurance requests are not processed. So it's not only for Domino admins, it's also for business people as well.
Can you briefly browse back to the slide?
Yeah, sure. I think we have it here, and you can have it just green, yellow, or orange, and you define your own criteria, what is good and what is bad. And the same you can monitor, for example, let me see. Yeah, here, for example, on this Engage Best Conference tool, you can create your own statistics about your business application. how many requests you have processed today, yesterday. So this is calculated by your business application. You create with one line of code, we have created a function for you. So with just one line of Lotus script, you can create these custom statistics. And then monitoring will pull this data and into the dashboards.
So seems easy, and I think managers will like the representation.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks for that. I need to close the Q&A for timing reasons. Like I said, any question that was not answered, we're getting back to this. We're going to take a transcript of your questions and supply our answer. We are going to publish a blog post at blogs.hcltechsoftware.com with, first of all, the recording of this call, secondly, the slides so that you can browse through, and of course, the transcript with questions and answers. In case you have any further questions, I'm sure that Vlad and Sai1 is available. So you may want to bring up your contact details when we conclude the slide deck. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for attending this interesting webinar. Thanks, Vlad, for this wonderful presentation. Especially, I like the one about the water cooler, by the way. And I hope we'll hear from you. Again. We're going to have the next webinar just next week. By the way, this next webinar is going to be about upgrading Domino to version 11. So if you're in an upgrade scenario, please join us on next week's webinar. The link is being published in all social networks, and we are going to post the link again to the blog. So thanks much for attending. Have a great rest of the day. Good evening, good afternoon, or even good night to the people in the Far East. So thanks a lot and talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.